Hi guys, I'm a Forester here with a second look at this flashlight right here. Now this is the box that it came in. This is made by OneTac and it's the TC1200 tactical flashlight. I did a review of this probably about a month ago and it didn't fare so well in that review. I compared it to this flashlight right here. This is the Maelstrom X7. This is made by 47s. And it's supposed to put out 480 lumen on high, and I trust that it does. But that was by far brighter than this flashlight, even though this flashlight is supposed to put out 1200 lumen on high, 3 times the light of that 47's flashlight. Now, I did mention that in the owner's manual it says that it runs off of 2 battery sources. What I was using in the test was 3 AAAs, and this is the battery holder that it came with it. And but it also runs off of, or can run off of, one 18650. The manual does not say that there's any difference in light output between the 2 battery sources. There's no mention of that whatsoever, so I assumed that the same light was possible out of either battery sources. One viewer though commented and said the light output would be far greater with the 18650, so I needed to try that. Now, I didn't want to buy the 18650. It's fairly expensive, and you have to get a recharger also to go with it. So I didn't want to make that investment just to run that test. So I tried to do it theoretically, but I will say that I could write a book about what I don't know about electricity. So I did figure a couple of things out. One is that each one of these AAAs is 1.5 volts, and when you put 3 in series, that increases the voltage by 3, so that's 4.5 volts here, but it doesn't change the current or the amperage. Whereas this 18650 is 3.6 volts, and I think it's 2600 milliamps, if I remember that correctly. So the voltage is actually higher here, and I don't know what the amperage is, but the voltage is higher here. I imagine the amperage is greater for the 18650. Now, that wasn't conclusive. Basically, I would have assumed that the voltage was basically the same, and that the 18650 would last longer, but the output would be the same. But that was just an assumption, and it wasn't conclusive. So I decided to buy an 18650 and do something a little more conclusive. Bought a recharger. This was a fairly, it's not cheap. I decided to go to Batteries Plus Bulbs, that's near my home, and buy something that they would stand behind, because when I read online about 18650s, there's a lot of Chinese knockoffs that are out there that don't, live up to how they're supposed to perform. So I decided to go and get a name brand, and that, like I say, Batteries Plus Bulbs carries. This is Nuon, and they make both the charger and the battery. So I got those, and what I'm going to do is try to answer 2 questions with this video. One, does the 18650 put out more light than 3 of these AAAs? So that'll be fairly easy to test. And then if it does put out more light than the 3 AAAs, does it come close to putting out 1200 lumen? Now that won't be quite as easy to test, because basically I'll have to compare it to this one that puts out 480 lumen, and I think that's fairly accurate, and see if this puts out 3 times as much. And you can help me be the judge of that. So okay, all of these batteries, by the way, are charged. The 18650 is at full charge, and these are brand new AAAs, and the 47s has brand new CR123s. All right, let's go outside. It's dark 30, and we'll see how it runs. All right, it's raining outside, so I'm going to do this video pretty quickly, but I'm probably about 20 feet away from the side of the garage. And this is the OneTac TC1200, and this is on battery power, 3 AAA batteries. This is on the high setting. Okay, I'm going to cut the video, change the batteries, and come back with the 18650 in the same flashlight. Okay guys, I've switched the batteries. This is the 18650 in the 1-tack, and I think it is noticeably brighter than the battery, so there is a difference in light output. I think I can tell because the greenery on the oak tree show up a lot more vivid color, whereas they were sort of dull with the three AAAs. Okay, let me put this flashlight away and bring out the Maelstrom X7, 480 lumens, so that you can judge whether this is brighter or the Maelstrom X7. Okay, here's the Maelstrom X7. Now it's got a different dispersion of the light. You can definitely tell that. I can't tell whether it's brighter or not, but let's focus on that tree down there. That's another oak tree. Let me switch back to the 1-tack and see if we can tell any difference. Okay, it's a different color light also. This is the 1-tack with the 18650. And it's hard to see that tree down there. Okay, I'm going to switch back one more time. Let me get it to focus. Okay, there it's in focus again, and let's look down there at the tree in the distance. Obviously, more light with this Maelstrom X7. All right, let's get out of the rain, go back inside. Okay, I'm back in out of the rain, and so what did I learn from that little experiment, getting wet? Well, question one was which puts out more light, 3 AAA batteries in series or one 18650? And I think we were able to say conclusively that one 18650 put out more light. Now the second question was, does this flashlight actually put out 1200 lumen as advertised? And that one's not so easy to answer. When we compared these two flashlights, I think you noticed a couple of things. One is that the dispersion pattern of these two lights differed a good bit, and the other is that the intensity of the lights were different. The TC1200 had more of a blue light, and the Maelstrom X7 was more of a white light. Now, as far as the dispersion pattern, I had tried to adjust this adjustable bezel to where they were more similar, but I still noticed that there was a different throw of the light. And so when I lit up that oak tree in the distance, it showed up a lot better, very well with this flashlight, whereas you couldn't even see it with this light. And that tree was probably 50 or 60 feet away, maybe a little bit further. So overall, I think that the Maelstrom did a better job and put out more light overall. But I'm going to weaken a little bit or soften a little bit what I said about this flashlight here in the first video. In the first video, I said basically it was a rip-off. I felt like it was an online scam, and for $50 or $60 that, this wasn't even close to what they said it would put out, especially with these 3 AAAs. Now, I've used this flashlight since Christmas. I really like it. It's a quality built flashlight, and with the 18650 it puts out a lot more light than what I was used to with these 3 AAAs. So it's not a bad flashlight. Whether it is a scam or not, that's probably too strong a language, but if I had to pick one over the other, I would probably pick this Maelstrom X7. A much better light overall. Okay, I hope that clears that up a little bit. I thank the viewer for making the comment and gave me the idea for this second video. Y'all take care.